Yo, what's up? It's me, E. Welcome to another MTG Modern Gameplay. So today, we're going to be talking about Twiddle Storm. Let's get it. Twiddle Storm. So, from the name itself, Twiddle and Storm, what the deck aims to do is to storm out using Grapeshot right here, which has the Storm mechanic. The Storm mechanic in MTG states that you copy this spell for each other spell that was casted this turn, either by you or by your opponent. Therefore, if you casted 20 spells this turn and you cast this spell, Grapeshot, which states that it deals 1 damage to target creature or player, you copy that spell 20 times, therefore dealing 20 damage instantly. Now, there is a predecessor for this deck, which is the Blue-Red Storm. However, there are a couple of advantages of this deck that differentiates it from its predecessor, but I'll mention that one in a few. Twiddle, which is the second part of, or the first part of the deck, is actually a card mechanic, or it's a card itself. Twiddle, right here, states that tap or untap target permanent. Okay, so what does the deck aim to do? It aims to win using Grapeshot and Storm mechanic by twiddling its main engine. The engine of the deck, its baseline, is what we call Lotus Field. Lotus Field is a land, and it states that whenever it comes to play, sacrifice 2 lands or sacrifice this land. So that means that it needs to be your third land into play. It has hexproof, therefore your opponent cannot target this land, but you can target this land, and it creates 3 mana of any color of your choice. It's not a combination, just 1 color mana. It will produce 3 black, 3 green, 3 blue, but not a combination of any of those. Okay, why is this crucial? Unlike its predecessor, because of this land, it transforms all the Twiddle cards or the Twiddle effect of this deck into rituals. What are rituals? In its predecessor, Pyretic Ritual and Desperate Ritual, these are only cards that produces 3 mana per cast. However, because you have Lotus Field, you actually transform all of these utility cards, Twiddle, Dream's Grip, and Psychic Puppetry, into mana rituals, or rituals. Since you target Lotus Field, you untap Lotus Field and you produce that enough mana. Alright. The other thing that separates this deck is its synergistic engine in the form of arcane spells. Arcane spells was initially introduced to MTG on the Kamigawa block, and it's actually a subtype of sorcery or instant spells, which is arcane. In the example right here, Ideas Unbound, it states right here on the middle part, sorcery-arcane. It exploits the card mechanic of Psychic Puppetry, which is splice into arcane. What does this mean? This means that whenever you cast an arcane spell, this one, you may pay the splice into arcane cost and you add the effect of this card into that spell. So basically you tag it along. The splice into arcane returns into your hand, but the Ideas Unbound is the spell that you cast. Therefore, if your Ideas Unbound is countered, your Psychic Puppetry still remains safe and is still in your hand. Right? You have 12 arcane spells in the form of Ideas Unbound, Peer Through Depths, and Reach Through the Mists. Therefore, replicating or duplicating your Twiddle effects into 12 different cards as well, on top of your Twiddle and your Dream's Grip. Now, that makes your deck synergistic and very, very consistent. What makes this superior, in my opinion, from its predecessor, which is the Blue-Red Storm deck, is number 1, its engine, because it has a utility function. Because of this Twiddle effect, you can use this on a utility function rather than lands. It is very versatile. Say, for example, your opponent is playing a aggro deck. You can buy a turn or life by tapping their creature during their combat step, or tap a land from your opponent at the end of their turn, denying them that land access to counter your spells during your turn. Unlike the actual rituals, they have these extra purposes. Therefore, in my opinion, it is superior. On top of that, the deck has one ace in the hole, and that is the card right here, the Wishclaw Talisman. The Wishclaw Talisman is a tutor effect that is non-restrictive on what it searches. What that means is that it can search for any card in your deck. However, there's a downside. The downside is that after you've done this effect, your opponent takes control of the artifact, and you can only do this within your turn. However, it pairs really nicely with your Twiddle effects. Note that because the wording of this card states that during your turn, you can actually wish at instant speed during your turn. So let me put things into perspective. You pay 1, you tap the Wishclaw Talisman and remove 1 counter. The trigger is now on the stack, or the activated ability is now on the stack. You don't let it resolve. You cast a Twiddle effect, untapping that artifact, and put another trigger on the stack, or activate that tutor effect again on the stack. Therefore, you net 2 cards for the price of 1 tutor card. In any case, when you're tutoring, that's when you're going to combo off and win on the spot. Your opponent cannot take advantage of that specific wish need, right? What makes this deck similar to its predecessor is the addition of the card Pass into Flames, and it just basically states that all of your spells in your graveyard gains flashback, therefore multiplying your 12 Twiddle effects and 12 Arcane effects even further, making the deck extremely consistent. However, one other tech for this deck that separates it from its predecessor is the card called Underworld Breach, and it states that each card in your graveyard has Escape 3. That means that as part of its quote-unquote flashback cost, you may pay for its mana cost and exile 3 other cards in your graveyard. Therefore, if your opponent has 20 life, you can storm spells for 20, or you can storm spells for 10, cast a Grapeshot, and then escape it with this Underworld Dreams and do it for another 11. Therefore, if you have this in play, in theory, you would only need to play 7 other spells and cast Grapeshot 3 times to win the game. Easy. The final advantage of this deck over the traditional Storm deck is its sideboard plan. It has access to green, therefore you can splash in your Veil of Summer. It has access to black, therefore you can either put a Damnation, a Fatal Push, a Bontu's Last Reckoning, and you can also put in the usual red sideboard plans like Aria of Flames and Thing in the Ice. However, whatever your meta dictates, because it has access to 3 different colors, you can put in, say for example, Leyline. You can also put in Thoughtseize, Duress. It's very versatile. So depending on your local meta, this deck might tickle that combo itch that we all have. Alright, that being said, the deck list is on the description down below. If you would like to know more about the sideboarding plan, don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section. Also, here's the gameplay, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, starting us off, game 1. This looks like a decent hand. Let's proceed. Play a land. Sandbar go. Oh, we're facing against white. Looks like it's a Stompy deck. Alright. I'm going to Sleight of Hand go. Play land go. Let's see what they're playing with. Hopefully it's not Death and Taxes. Alright, they're fetching Arid Mesa. Is this red? Oh, it's plains. Okay, this looks like a sort of budget version of the just white weenie. Okay, that seems fair-ish. So here am I, floating mana. Put in Lotus Field and going to Twiddle combo here. Try to combo off. We have Peer Through Depths and Psychic Puppetry. We're going to splice it to Arcane and basically get card value out of the Psychic Puppetry, and we're going to try to net mana every time we do this one. So the key here is that every time we do Peer Through Depths, we untap our mana, but that doesn't net as mana. What net as mana is the Reach Through Mists that nets us 1 mana. The other thing that we need to think about is that when we're trying to combo off Ideas Unbound, Bound is crucial because it draws us 3 cards, and if we have Psychic Puppetry, you can actually splice into Arcane and untap the land as well. Nice. We draw a Underworld Breach, but before that one, what you want to do is you want to exhaust as much spell as you can, and then you can cast Underworld Breach. What we're trying to achieve here is that because we have a Wishclaw Talisman and we effectively have a Underworld Breach, we just need to basically get enough mana so that we can go or enough storm count so that we can go Grapeshot, wish for Grapeshot, and then flashback the Grapeshot. Because they're playing white, I don't think they are playing any Surgical Extraction, so we're not going to play around that one. And from there, we should be winning this game easily. Alright, as you can see, the deck is capable of winning turn 3 if our opponent doesn't have any interactions in between. Alright, time to sideboard. So because they're playing creature heavy decks, so we're going to board in Thing in the Ice and Echoing Truth just in case they have any sort of graveyard hate. They're going to go first, which is quite tricky against a specific match. That's a slow start from them. Lucky for us, we drew Thing in the Ice on our opening 7, so we're just going to shock this one in, put Serum Visions up. So the reason why I didn't go for a fetch land, because most of our lands are actually shock lands, so wanted to minimize as much as possible as we can in terms of like a damage. Want to do Serum Visions turn 1 because that's the most yield that we can. Oh, okay, they cast Honor of the Pure. It's not really that much relevant against slow start. So we now have a Thing in the Ice. Hopefully they don't have Path to Exile. Oh, Archon of Emeria. This is one of the cards that is actually bad against our deck because it limits our spells that we can cast only 1 per turn. That being said, we're lucky that we have Thing in the Ice in the hand. Oh, that's Pass in Flames. So we're going to get that one. Hopefully we can flip Thing in the Ice, deal with the Archon of Emeria for a turn, and then we can go off from there. Our Wishclaw Talisman basically represents that we can get our Lotus Field into play. No problem. We're just going to take a couple of damage. Hopefully, oof, that's a Thalia, making our spells cost 1 more. That's one of the bane of the deck. We're gonna go Serum Visions, remove 1 counter from Thing in the Ice. None of those, we don't want any of those, so we're going to pass. End of turn, fetch, so that we don't take too much damage, because we know it's going to come to play tap anyway because of Archon of Emeria. Yikes, that's 8 damage right there. 2 Honor of the Pure. At end of turn, we fetch, look for our Watery Graves tapped. Now it's our turn. Alright. From this position, I just discarded Wishclaw Talisman because I wanted to block and Echoing Truth their Honor of the Pure. So we're going to block Thalia here. Go Echoing Truth. Reducing the creature power and taking less damage here. Alright, our plan worked. Next turn we can flip Thing in the Ice. Going to Sleight of Hand. Hopefully get a land. My hope here is to get a Lotus Field. Yikes. Nope. That's not happening right now. So I'm just going to attack. Awakened Horror. Coming in hot. Arid Mesa fetches another Plains. And let's hope they don't play the Emeria. Okay, that's a Thalia. Okay. Champion of the Parish. Okay. And a Thraben Spectre. Growing their champion. Decent. Right. During our turn, we'll try to attack. My hope here is that we get them by Dream's Grip. Trying to tap and untap our Awakened Horror so that we can eat their Thalia. Alright, here's our window. Hopefully they don't have any interaction. Yikes, that's a path to exile. And we lose the game. Alright, game 3. No changes to the sideboard and we're on the play. We don't have a decent land, so we're going to mulligan. This looks good. We have Thing and Dice. Play land, go. They looks like playing a slow hand as well. We're going to slam our Thing and Dice turn 2. Stoneforge Mystic. They search for a Sword of Fire and Ice. We're going to peer through depths. Try to look for our cantrips so that we can flip Thing and Ice quickly. And hopefully get that land that we want. The Bane of the Living, Emeria. Okay, so we get a Serum Visions. That's a Sleight of Hand, and we're going to pass turn. We don't want to go Lotus Field because it's not yet our combo turn, and we would like to maximize our turn. This is our window to tap their Emeria so that we don't take too much damage and they don't draw cards. With only one counter for Thing in the Ice, this is the window that we're looking for. Sleight of Hand will flip that or Thing in the Ice, bounce to the Emeria. Or let's go with Dream's Grip and go off for the combo right now. We have the Psychic Puppetry in hand, and okay, that's a Pass in Flames. We have this in the bag. And now I'm just going through the motions, accumulating as much storm count as we can. So what we're doing here is just, again, we're just going to loop the Psychic Puppetry with all of the Arcane, ties into Arcane triggers. Try to look for that kill spell. And because it's game 3, we don't want to risk Surgical Extraction, so we're going to make sure that our Grapeshot is lethal. Right, and that's 19 damage right there and beyond. That's game 1. Off to the next game. Alright, next game. Okay, we have a Wishclaw Talisman. I'm going to mulligan this one and mulligan again. We're looking for that hand where we have the Lotus Field. Unfortunately, we don't, so... But we have 2 Serum Visions. That represents basically at least 6 cards that we get to see. Our opponent seems to be playing Jeskai. So there's a popular Jeskai control going around at the time of this recording. We'll see if that's what indeed it is. We shock it in, get a Serum Visions, double black. Our opponent is fetching their Scalding Tarn or a Hallowed Fountain, shocked it in, and are they going to counter this? Oh, it looks like they're going to remand. Okay. That's a bit odd, but that might mean that they don't have too much land in hand, so they want to cycle their remands. Flooded Strand go. Tells us that they're playing a sort of control deck. I'm going to slam a Wishclaw Talisman here. And they let it resolve. I'm going to fetch this land so that we can Serum Visions. Just a snow-covered island. We don't want to show them that we're playing green so that we get them on game 2 with the Veils. That's Pass in Flames. And now I'm just going to look for our Twiddle effects and the Lotus Field. Alright, Flagstones of Tarkir. Okay, so it's a hybrid deck. These are where the land destruction of our opponent might come into play. So we fetch for a Lotus Field here. Because they're playing control, I don't think they have anything that they can do against us on turn on game 1. So also we drew the Psychic Puppetry, and we're just going to try to go off from here. Let's see what they do. Oh, that's a remand. They're going to remand our Peer Through Depths. Pass the turn. Alright, okay. I'm not too worried about giving them a tutor here. There's not much that they can do against our deck. Game 1, we're going to take that 2 damage. Okay. Right, another pass in flames. Okay. Let's see if they still have the counter spell. A cryptic command, perhaps. Another remand. Okay. They helix us. So these are the type of cards that it's sort of dead against our deck. We don't have a creature. Okay. That's a Cleansing Wildfire. That's the land destruction I was talking a while ago. Right. They search for a land and a basic land and a plains. So it's sort of a ramp and a card draw as well. They played another card here. They swing in. We're down to 10. 5 cards in hand. And they only showed us remand. So not too worried about it. Okay. Going to do it again. Psychic Puppetry. The good thing about this is even though they either counter or remand, or even if they hard counter the Peer Through Depths, the Psychic Puppetry still remains into our hand. So we're going to play that land, shock it in. Since they're tapped out, we're going to go Reach Through the Mists and untap this. Then we can go and combo off. We have 2 Past in Flames in hand. So I'm not too worried about fizzling out. Essentially, all of our card draws are multiplied twice, or just like there's a ×2 multiplier here because I have Past in Flames. And we drew Ideas Unbound. The game is over. I'm just going to go through the motions here. Again, after Past in Flames, all I want to do is make sure that I have enough storm count so that we can shoot them out on one-off Grapeshot. And our opponent scoops. Game 2. Post sideboard, we just put in some Veil of the Summers and some bounce spells just to anticipate specific graveyard hate from our opponent. Our opponent goes first. Play our land. Looks like we have everything that we need here. We're just looking for the Psychic Puppetry and we're off to the races. One of the key things that we can think about when we're playing with this deck is that your TWIDDLE effects actually works as a tap target permanent from your opponent as well. So you can catch them off guard by saying that if they remain like or retain like 1 mana or 2 mana and tap for a counter spell, you can actually tap it at end of turn. Sort of a Giga Drowse effect for those of you who are familiar with the Giga Drowse effect or the Giga Drowse card. So right here for now, this is turn 3 and we're here to try to combo off. Actually, I decided against it because I just wanted to slam this card, Lotus Field, because I assume they don't have any hate against our deck, and slamming the 3rd land seems to be a good idea. Opponent shocks in a land, and that looks like a cryptic command. I'm not too worried about it. We have Veil. I believe I misclicked on that turn. I should have played a land. Luckily, our opponent just missed a land as well. Land drop. Let's shock that in. Get a Serum Visions. That's a remand. That's okay. That's a Teferi. Okay. Now it's time to splice into Arcane. That's a Spell Snare. But we wanted them tapped out for the turn. So this is the turn where we go off. With a Veil of Summer as a backup, I'm not worried about it. So we cast Veil of Summer first. All our spells are uncounterable. Even if they have Force of Negation here, we're going to force through our combo. Also, we have Wishclaw Talisman here. The game is in the bag. I'm just going to go through the motions. Same thing as what we did before. We're just going to go as much as we can, accumulating all the storm counts. Just checking what's in the graveyard. Ideas Unbound. Right. This game is over. Yep. Right, there you have it. We stormed out our opponent with 17 damage. Easy. Alright, here we are on our final match, our featured match. We keep this because we have a Wishclaw Talisman. We have a Twiddle effect and a Passing Flames. Opponent has a fetch land. Polluted Delta. Searching for Triome. Oh, okay. This is another control variant. This time it's green, black, and blue. I believe that's a Sultai color. Going to fetch our Watery Grave tapped. Now we're going to cast our Wishclaw Talisman. Pass the turn. Opponent is just accumulating lands and go. I'm going to cast another Wishclaw Talisman. Alright, that's another search. And I shock myself in. Okay. Casting a Serum Visions. I shocked in. Breeding Pool. I think they're feeling that it's time for them to do something here. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck behind. At the end of turn, they draw 2 cards. Okay. That looks to be a cryptic command for me. Serum Visions, I'm not in a hurry too much. I have a Psychic Puppetry and all of the wishes. So if they make a mistake here, we're going to combo off. So I call that Lonely Sandbar. Sleight of Hand into Serum Visions. Oof. Now we have our Lotus Field. Opponent charms again. Opponent has 9 cards. Okay. It's another land. I think it's time. Dream's Grip. Untwine. Okay, they float mana. We're just going to cross to our second main phase. Widow. And that resolves. And now I'm going to Pass in Flames. That also resolves. Alright, looks like they don't have it, so I'll try to go off. Now we have the Psychic Puppetry and Peer Through Depths with a lot of like Twiddle effects on our hand. Alright, Peer Through Depths comes in. Another Peer Through Depth. Another Peer Through Depths. We're just accumulating storm count. 14 mana. Search for Underworld. That resolves. That tells me that they don't have anything. Ideas Unbound. At this point, I'm just making sure that we get lethal before we cast our Grapeshot, like above lethal. That's it. They were just waiting for our win condition. They know that they have us. So we actually board in just Veil of Summers. That's it. This hand looks perfect. I'm going to keep it. Opponent plays a River of Tears into Thoughtseize and got our Underworld Dreams. Play land, tap, pass. Seems solid. Another Thoughtseize, taking our Peer Through Depths. That's okay. Sleight of Hand. See what they get. Trio, okay. We got another Peer. Play that land, pass. So we're just looking for a window here to cast our Ideas Unbound. We're going to Peer. Let's see what they get. They will probably counter the spell. Force of Negation. Alright. Solid. They are Lotus Field, pass. With our opponent only 3 cards in hand, we have 4. We have 3 Dreams Gripped. Opponent plays a land, fetches the land. Plays a Field of the Dead, which was recently banned. But at this point in time, this deck was still legal. So this is a Wishclaw Talisman. They Cryptic Command it. Alright. Opponent Mystic Sanctuary. As you can see, this deck has been banned in Modern. But even though that's the case, they tried to rip our hand apart. Still good to go. Abrupt Decay our Tutor. Only 1 card in hand here. I'm happy to just pass the turn with them only 1 card in hand. Alright, that's a Veil of Summer. I'm going to Dreams Grip. Okay, this tells me that they don't have it, so I'm going to go for it. Play that land. Psychic Puppetry. Cryptic Command. Another Reach Through Depths with Psychic Puppetry backup. That's a Veil of Summer there. And we got him. All our spells can't be countered from here. We're just going to look for either an Underworld Dreams or Pass in Flames. We should have it by then. Oh, yikes. Alright, we got this. We got the Wishclaw Talisman. Alright, and we're just going to go through the motions. And we win. Nice. There you have it, guys. Amazing gameplay. There are a couple of fast forwards there because the deck is very linear. However, the other thing I want you guys to know is that even though some of the cards there on the last game has been banned, I just wanted it to be included in this video to show you guys how resilient the deck is, how it can go off out of nowhere, and it could be fun playing this deck. Right, if you're curious about the sideboard plan, drop me in the comment section down below or visit my Discord. I also stream. Here's my schedule. I may be playing this, or you may request me to play this type of deck to show you how it works. Alright, that's me. If you enjoyed this modern gameplay, I have other videos. That's it. This is me signing off. As always, stay safe.